Hey y'all, so I am together enough to deliver these really quickly. So not last night, but the night before. I told y'all me and God been on some, like, he don't ever force us to do anything. He don't ever make us do nothing, but he been pretty clear with, like, do this if this is the result you want, right? And so with me, he is calling me to a different place, with my sleeping arrangements. For instance, I be fighting him on sleeping with the TV off, and it's all interconnected. The reason I be fighting him with sleeping with the TV off is out of fear. Usually the only time I don't sleep, the only times I sleep with the TV off is like when I'm not alone, no matter who I'm with. Or if I'm just like at my parents' house, then I don't have to turn TV on. Or if I'm like at my grandma's house, I don't have to turn TV on. But like when I'm alone, I don't like sleeping in like complete silence. And I don't like sleeping in complete silence because I hear in the dark. Okay? I don't just see in the dark. A lot of times he try my hearing in the dark. The enemy does. And I don't like that. That, like, it's more so not even it being dark. It's more so because it's silent. I think I said that in complete silence. I don't like that because there was a time in my life where he truly just tried me with my ears and what I was hearing at night, and I just don't like it. So that's why I was saying that is 100% fear, 1,000%. That's what you should say, 1,000% fear. And so he been telling me for a while, and y'all, I do mean a while, like even before this year, a while, like sleep with the TV off, sis. And the nights where I be having like those super like heavy dreams, it's always the nights the TV off, like, and it'll be like an accident, or either it'll go off. I think I've told y'all that before. Sometimes I wake up and the TV's off, and I'm like, who turned it off? And it's because he really don't be wanting me to miss certain things, and I'm disobedient and I sleep with it on. So the other night I was like, God, I know we in a new place. I know you've been telling me to like do what I know you're telling me to do, and I want to sleep the TV off. I had all these dreams. And of course, they were all insight to warfare. So if I'm in a dream like that, sometimes I'm feeling the warfare in the dream. In this particular dream, it was heavy on fear. But he was showing me tactics, like the enemy's tactics right now. We talked about it. One of my gifts, or one of the ways that God uses me, that's a gift still, the Holy Spirit will manifest, is in my dreams at night, giving me insight to warfare. And so it was a lot of things going on in a dream, and I actually do believe I have a specific message for someone, so stay tuned. But one of the things was, if y'all can notice, I got these baskets and stuff in here because I'm about to get rid of some stuff, donate some things, throw some things out, he was telling me, like, even though we was travailing yesterday, it was clean, it was purge, clean, organized, in that order, right? And it's because we're preparing these spaces, but it's the same thing he's doing inside, right? Like purge again, like Lord. Anyways, he was saying that. So one of the things that happened in a dream, and it was one of those dreams to where like it felt like it was real time, but I was just in the spirit. Now it felt like my house, but it still was a little remix, but it was remixed when I looked outside, but it felt like my house. Okay. So, and I told y'all, like, the enemy can't attack me in my dreams or nothing, like, or even try to play me. And, okay. So now that I'm here, actually, before we hop into this, one of the tactics to throw you off in your dreams is to, like, when you land in them, when you enter in them, you confuse, and so you get caught off guard. Okay, that's not what was happening, but I felt the need to say that because I notice in those dreams when that happens, because it's like I be thinking I'm somewhere safe because of the surroundings, and in actuality they just trying to like and I don't like that. So that's a tactic. Okay, so in the dream, he pointed out a specific backpack to me that he wanted me to get rid of. Okay, and when I had woke up, I was like, why was you highlighting that backpack of all backpacks in the dream? Because that's the one I use now. Like, I keep different things in there. And he was like, you got that at a bad time in a bad season, and you traveled with that one a lot. And he was showing me, like, me sliding underneath the airplane things and stuff. And I was like, oh, you're right. So guess what? Meg threw that out. But another thing that happened was, it was like my ex's baby was in my dream. But let me tell y'all what happened. This is how I knew it was a tactic. I was talking to her. I was telling her I missed her. I was holding her, everything. But it was like she was a baby. It's not even like the actual size she is now. That's why I was like, why is she a baby? Talking to her, all this. I was taking everything out of my room, which is literally what happened yesterday. That's what I was doing all day yesterday, right? Like, this dream manifested. Everything that happened in a dream pretty much happened yesterday. Okay? So that was wild. But I guess that's what happened when you sleep with the TV off so you can let God talk to you. So anyways, I was taking stuff out of my room. I knew take the backpack completely out of my house. I had actually set it out here in the garage in a dream. But then, and it was other stuff in it, but I couldn't 100% remember, but it don't matter because literally all day yesterday he was like that, yep, get rid of that, like he was doing that with me all day yesterday. So she was like a baby and I had her with me, and then I had took her in my room and she turned into a doll, but it was like a scary doll, like a little demon doll. And I was like, whoa, pause, what is this? One of the tricks right now is he trying to get you back, latched, that's the word, that can latch. He's trying to latch back onto you using your past, okay? Using the things that you think you miss, using the things that you're supposed to be letting go of. He's trying to latch back onto you through those things. And I don't think I put it in, but I just dropped my stuff off, and part of what I had to drop off was some of her stuff, which did have dolls and toys and stuff in it. And I honestly didn't even realize that I had that still. I thought I had already gave it away, but I hadn't. Okay, so listen to the Holy Spirit. And that was part of the stuff that I had to give away. It's not that the baby demonic or anything like that, but the devil will try to linger on those things and latch himself on those things. Okay? The memories, all that, because remember I was telling her in a dream, I was telling her I missed her, which I mean I do, but he will try to trip you up. You also got to know your seasons, because it's February and I know her daddy will try it. Okay, so no shade, it's got to be smart, okay? Because it's a new season, so that's why he having us purge things out of our physical homes, things out of our minds, different memories, things out of our heart. Okay, I was still aware, like I was 1,000% aware in my dream, like once she turned from like herself to like the doll, and she didn't do that till I set her down on the bed. And I was like, now fun fact, I've never liked dolls, I've never liked things with eyes. If I'm being honest, it's always creeped me out since I was a little kid. I think that's because of what I'm called to. Like, no, I don't play that. Like, I know demonic stuff can attach. I've been like that since I was a child. Before I ever watched a scary movie, I don't like stuff with eyes. Okay, so when I sat her on the bed and she turned into something like that, I was like, oh, you gotta go too, sis. Took the doll, brought her back out my room, okay? And I think I put her in the backpack and set her outside the house too, okay? So that was one thing. The other thing was the entire dream, I was so just scared, but I was walking around my house the entire dream praying, declaring and decreeing, right? Now, this is when it gets interesting. Something told me to look outside the blinds, and this also happened yesterday. And I was telling my sister in Christ that yesterday, like I was like, this is not sitting right with me. Like, I don't know. The dream, when I looked out of the blinds, okay, it was a man looking at me. Now, it was dark. I remember the time in the dream and everything. So when I woke up, I realized I was dreaming in like a hour different time zone. Like, I was dreaming an hour behind. I was dreaming an hour behind. Like, in my dream, it was like 3:40 something a.m. And then when I woke up, it was like 5, like a little after 5 a.m. But I knew it was like an hour hop. And I knew it was like real time in the dream that I was seeing, if that makes sense. So anyways, I'm peeping out the blinds. I see this man looking at me. He see me looking at him peeping out the blinds. And I was peeping, like literally peeping out the blinds. And this is when it got a little interesting. This is where I thought it was something specific for somebody. It was a little boy. He was white. He was super cute. He was adorable. His name was Taylor. I don't know him, but he was looking out the blind. He wasn't peeping like me. Like, he was looking. He wasn't scared. I was peeping because I was scared. And he was like, can whoever belongs to Taylor please come back in? Please come inside. And I was like, who is this little boy? Like, who is Taylor? I don't know if y'all got a son named Taylor, a cousin. Look, I don't know. But he can see. Like that. I was just asking God about that. Like, what was that? And I looked up the name and everything. Taylor can see. Okay. He was up with me. Okay. Looking out of the blinds. And he was like, can whoever belongs to me please come back home? Now, that is what threw me off the most, because I was like, pause. Now, I did see people outside running. Okay, not too many people run outside at 4 a.m. That threw me off in the dream. I was like, why is they outside running during this time of night? I couldn't tell if people were good or bad. Like, are you practicing witchcraft and that's why you outside? Or are you up praying, interceding on behalf of people? That's why you outside. But Taylor was asking them to come back home like they was outside up to no good during those hours. Okay, so I don't know who that's for, but he was like, can whoever belongs to Taylor please come home? He was the cutest little boy, and he was literally like, no, for real, stop playing, come back inside. Because with me interceding, and that's the thing, I'm not outside running around to intercede. I'm doing that in the house. I was praying and declaring and decreeing in the house. Why would people be outside running around during that time of the night? And then the man saw me peeping at him, and then when he saw me peeping at him, he saw me see him see me, right? Then he started running, but nobody came near my house though, right? So, and it didn't look like my neighborhood. That was another thing that threw me off, because when I peeped out the blinds, like, this ain't even like my street though, because it low-key looked like I was in a cul-de-sac. So if you got a Taylor and you in a cul-de-sac, it's definitely for you, okay? But yesterday what happened was, when we was on the phone, something told me peep out the blinds. Why was it a car in front of my house? Now that car is still in front of my house. I recognized that they actually might have been here for the neighbors, but I actually thought they was like, I got this real stalker type of vibe, and I have to trust my spirit when that happens, because I was so unsettled the whole time, really. And I kept coming back, and they were still outside, and they was in the car. Like, I was like, are you waiting for them to get home? Because they was outside for hours. Like, I didn't know what was going on, but it felt like they was watching me, even though they wasn't watching me. So I just watched one of Stephanie's videos, and I was like, well, that explains it, because I felt like that in the dream, and I felt like that in real life yesterday, to the point to where I truly was walking around my house declaring and decreeing, just like I had did in the dream. Because fear is one of those things for me, and I'm gonna get to that too. Fear is one of those things for me. Like, I can't go to sleep fearful. That's not gonna work. It messes with my dreams and stuff. And then y'all know I used to fall asleep having panic attacks. I ain't trying to go back to that, right? So I was declaring and decreeing no fear, all of that. But literally in the dream, I was peeping out the blinds. And then yesterday, I kept peeping out the blinds because I kept thinking them folks was watching me. And so what God was showing me was, they might not have been necessarily watching me, but some spirits on them. And they was outside my house literally for hours, okay? And that's what Stephanie was saying, part of the warfare was them sending spirits right now. And I was like, see, because I don't know what was on the... Like, I would walk to the front of my house yesterday and just feel uneasy. That's not normal, okay? But I did pray. I do keep my house covered. I told y'all, even when I was out of town, I dreamt I was back here at my house that night walking around praying, just like I would be doing in real life. Like... So that was that. The other thing is, in this dream, because of the time, like I told y'all, when I had looked at the clock, because I was in the kitchen making food. Now, this was also crazy specific. I was making queso, burning it, white queso, burning it, because I was so scared. Like, I was trying to watch the people who I thought felt like was watching me, but I was also trying to cook because I was hungry. And I was talking myself into staying up until the sun came up. And it used to be a time in my life where that really was it. Like, I was so scared. Like, I'm not going to sleep while it's dark. I'm going to go to sleep when the sun come up, okay? That's me. So if that has been you, if it was me, if that has been you, then, you know, I was burning queso, undercooked the fries, and then I had made like this super soggy waffle. I remember it tasted sweet. Like, I tried eating it. Now, let me talk about this. Also had a dream, because when I don't sleep with the TV on, I can have so many dreams. It's not even funny. I ate a little bit of that food that I was making myself in that part of the dream. Another part of the dream, I went to McDonald's and I had a McDouble, and I was actually with a deacon from church, and he was telling me I was not qualified to eat that food. He kept trying to get me to not get it, and I didn't listen, and I spent way too much money for the food I got from McDonald's that was nasty, okay, in the dream. And then we ended up falling off the road. Like, that dream was so loaded. That's what I was telling y'all. Like, it's still some stuff I'm still sorting through, okay? But that was also part of that dream. When I woke up the next morning, you could argue, like, a doctor could probably diagnose me with ulcerative colitis, because I was having those symptoms. And I was like, y'all really been feeding me, getting me to eat in my dreams. I gotta stop doing that. That's why my stomach been messed up. I don't care what nobody says. But back to the dream, because the dream felt so realistic that it's just kind of, I know, it'd be kind of everywhere. I was messing up my food, trying to pray, walk around my house, decluttering stuff, right? Like, literally pretty much on my day, went peeping out the blinds, doing all this stuff. But what I noticed was, when I was cooking the food, the time was like 3:47 or whatever, I don't know. It was 3 something. And in the dream, I knew, like, when I typed the notes to the dream, it said at 4, the moon shifts. I don't even know how I would know that. Well, how would I even know that? And if the moon shifts at 4, that's a sign. What? And then I told y'all, when I woke up, I knew, like, I had dreamt an hour off. Like the time zone in my dream and the real time in real life, it was not the same. But that's what the note said. Like if the moon shifts at 4, it's a sign, and it wasn't like a good sign. Like I'm telling you, it was warfare, insight to warfare somehow. And I was like, well, I feel like I gotta go study because I don't even know what we're talking about. Like now, the actual film, like something was monitoring me, stalking me. That's real. That happened yesterday. The actual fear, that's real, but it didn't work. Like you gotta pray. You gotta pray. That's how you defeat fear. God didn't give you a spirit of fear, and you got to know that, okay? It was a long time coming for me to get over it, but the devil will still try to throw fear at me. I'm like, what you doing? No, we're not doing that. So that didn't work, but the stalking and the monitoring and stuff, that instills fear in me a little bit. Like, does that make sense? And then also trying to trick you with your past to latch back onto you, because when she went from the baby to like the doll, and I was like, oh, no, you got to go. And then throwing out the stuff he's telling you to throw out, and literally most of that time my day went yesterday. That's why I was like, I don't even know how to make a video. And then I'm glad I didn't, because it all played out for me. And I was like, oh, well, okay. But that is insight to the warfare that's going on right now. It was way longer than I anticipated, but whoever's for, there you go. Okay. So, love y'all. See you on the next upload.